As the Paul Rudd and Jack Black starring Meta-Reboot of Anaconda recently hit cinemas, I thought it would be nice to revisit the 1997 original before I watched the new entry, to make sure I catch all the references. So, how does the classic hold up? Hi there, it's Micha. Join me for this review if you like to find out. A small movie crew wants to film a documentary about the Shiri Shamas, an indigenous Amazonian tribe believed to be lost. The group consists of director Terry Flores, cameraman Danny Rich, production manager Denise Kalberg, sound engineer Gary Dixon, British narrator Warren Westridge, and is led by anthropologist Stephen Cale. Together they charter skipper Mateo's boat to get to the tribe. But on their way they meet Paul Cerrone, who apparently got stuck on the side of a river and is now hitching a ride. Big mistake, as the guy is a snake hunter and just wants to get to the place where he expects to find a giant anaconda. And to that end, he sabotages the trip and doesn't even shy away from murder. Of course, once they run into the monstrous reptile, things don't go as planned, as the snake picks them off one by one. Yeah, that's about the entire story. Best don't pay any attention to the title credits though, as they pretty much tell you exactly who survives and in which order they are picked off. Just as a side note. Now, how does the movie hold up? On the plus side, it is still quite entertaining, though not a masterclass in storytelling. It is solid for a B-movie, which many people call this film, and I can see why they do, but produced by a major studio at a price tag of $45 million, a B-movie this is not. A portion of that budget surely went into the cast's pockets. I mean, you have Jennifer Lopez in the lead, Ice Cube at the top of his career, and Eric Stoltz, who was also still riding high. Same is true for Jon Voight, who clearly enjoyed playing a lewd jerk. With the jerk aspect maybe foreshadowing his current standing in the public eye. Owen Wilson, on the other hand, was still at the start of his career, so he likely didn't cost that much, which also applies to Carrie Wura, who just started out and didn't get much to do to highlight her existing acting talent. Not only is her character killed off in the dumbest way possible, she also clearly was just thrown into the movie as eye candy. A fate that, it being the late 90s, not even J-Lo could escape. Most of the budget, this being a creature feature, likely went into the special effects, and here it gets dicey. While the practical effects are pretty solid, each time CGI came into play, you could clearly identify it as just that. Some scenes fortunately rely more on practical effects, but still end up being unconvincing, while other scenes are laughable, like the one where the snake is shown with a full stomach, or the one where the CGI snake burns in CGI fire. I mean, this is 4 years after Jurassic Park, so there is little excuse for it. And watching the movie in glorious 4K resolution, in which it is now available, only highlights these subpar visuals. Then there is a scene where, after a big attack, they wanted to show the boat heading into the other way, which they have not filmed though. What do you do in such a situation? Well, you reverse the material, letting it run backwards. So now you have the infamous scene where the water of the waterfall flows upwards for a bit, which is crazy as the scene was not even necessary at that point. As for the plot, as I mentioned earlier, there is not much to write home about. Again, solid for a B-movie, but a bit lazy for a studio production. What bothered me a bit was the fact that while we only see one snake for most of the encounters, once they kill it, a second one immediately emerges. And after the snake hunter at first keeps the others from killing the anaconda, even at the cost of one of the team members' life, implying this to be a one-of-a-kind creature, he all of a sudden, and out of nowhere, seems to be aware of the fact that there is another. Because he builds a trap and, what do you know, a second, even bigger one appears. What really is dumb writing though is this. It is revealed that the snake hunter and the skipper work together. So why the whole shenanigans with tricking the documentary team to go to the place where they want to go? Why didn't they just go snake hunting on their own? No need for convoluted ploys. I guess the answer is that otherwise there wouldn't have been a movie, but they surely could have come up with a reason that actually would have made sense. And with that being said, let's get to the rating. As I said, the effects don't really hold up, and to be honest, they never did, as I remember them being laughable even when I watched the movie at the theater back then. For fans of creature features, not a showstopper, but for viewers expecting more quality, it may be disappointing, but those will likely have enough to do trying to mull over the plot. All in all, it isn't a great movie, but an entertaining one nevertheless, especially if you like creature features. Even though the creature came in quite late in this movie. After a quick intro at the start, where you didn't even see it, mind you. You only see Danny Trejo react to its presence, in some unintentionally funny slow motion shots. With some early performances of rising stars and an intentionally sleazy performance by Jon Voight, I'm raising my initial score of 6 to a 6.5 out of 10. Worth a rewatch as long as you don't expect highbrow entertaining and cutting edge effects. What about you? Did you rewatch this movie recently? Did you love it back in the day, or were you also a little bit underwhelmed even then? Whatever you like to share, let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, share or subscribe. So much for now, see you next time, and thanks for watching. I thought it would be nice to revisit the 1997 and is led by anthropologist. As the guy is a snake hunter and just wants to get to the place where he expects to find a giant anaconda.